Hey guys, it's Access Denied here with Salvation Development. Today we're going to be talking about the cease and desist letter from Dueling Network. From NAS to Dueling Network. So to go over the basics, they were asked by a legal team representing or claiming to represent NAS to take down the images, and in slow asshole legal way. Come on, they're lawyers. They haven't exactly been the best with Chris, and he has quickly complied, and I'm pretty sure will continue to comply based on whatever it is that they want. So that is kind of a thing there. So moving forward, I don't know what's going to happen to Dueling Network. I can say this, that the leadership within all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator community is on his side, and we all generally agree with the actions that he's taking to comply. And if asked, then I'm pretty sure all the Sims would probably comply to the copyright holder's request. Now, all that said, the general view for the public right now is they're thinking Konami's doing this. They're not. It has nothing to do with Konami. It's very possible that Konami is finding out about this just as you are. It's just NAS by itself as far as people can tell. And that's the key point that I want to get across. So for those of you that are scratching your heads, that are familiar with the way that this is all laid out, there's a variety of sub-licensing going on. The first level of it is the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has, his copyright, and that's then given to the owners of Jump, and then the owners of Jump then have sub-licensed it to Konami and NAS. NAS in the form that of the show, and then Konami in the form of the card game and video games. So somehow NAS is claiming that they have rights to the card game, or at least the images of the card game, including the whole entire card pool, not just the characters. So my initial instinct was that the avatars on DN and images depicting anything of that nature, Chris was going to remove, and that was what they were complaining about, which would have been a small thing. It wouldn't have majorly affected any of the simulators, and except for us probably growing our own identities a little bit better. But that doesn't seem to be the case. They're saying that they have the card pool. So because they have the card, they're saying that they have the card pool, and odds are that they do. All the simulators have to shut down effectively if NAS so chooses, and it looks like they don't want any competition. I say all the simulators because there's legal precedent for distribution. Just because the images are on your computer does not necessarily mean that the way that they got there is not problematic. It's fairly understandable in this day and age that just turning off a website does no damage necessarily, but usually in licensing, being able to download something carries more legal weight. There has been enough copyright laws and enough court cases. If you don't understand how this is going, just think of Napster. Compare DevPro to Napster, and then it will kind of click what they can possibly do, how far they can take this. They could either just outright sue DevPro or Percy or any of the rest of us for whatever reason, because America, or they could just ask for a cease and desist, and then which I think is how they're going to go about it, because that's the least resistant way. And they know that the Sims themselves don't really have money, so there's no real point in suing us. So my recommendation is actually to shut down the simulators a little bit beforehand. Now Salvation has been offline, but that's because we were going to go to do something like DN, and seeing that the way things are going now, and after doing some research and a little bit of journalism, uh, I don't think that's a safe option to force Salvation to come back online initially. I think we need to back up even further, and I'm going to talk with my staff about that. Uh, I honestly believe that the only way that the community is going to get what they need is for us to pull together and buy the card pool, to get a license for it, and then give that to a simulator of our choice to run. How that will work, I'm not really sure, but if they have the license, then they don't have to be nonprofit, which means they can charge in a way that the user base would be okay with, or accept donations to continue running, and so forth. So I want to move ahead and kind of do something like that, but I'm not perfectly sure how to go about it. Um, I am going to do research, and I'm going to try to keep the community appraised. But the one thing that I want to put out there is that this is not Konami's fault. It's just NAS by itself. It's acting in its best interest, and companies are usually detached from the user base. They just see that this is like something they can monetize, like getting rights from Disney to make toys. This is the way that they see it. That there's no way that somebody works there that's high enough, that's young enough to understand what this game is about, and how valuable it really is, and the crowd that's attached to it, and how they think and how they feel, and what is important. So this has been access denied, connection terminated.